brave new world.
I have called the members of the upper staff of the plant here for a necessary but unfortunate reason. As director of the Central Hatcheries plant, I have a special responsibility to see that its reputation remains absolutely spotless. Unfortunately, a blemish has appeared. A blemish that, if allowed to remain, could tarnish the reputation of the entire plant. I speak, of course, of Mr. Bernard Marx. I have, if I may say so, been overly indulgent with Mr. Marx. His work record has been deficient in all respects. Still, that could possibly be overlooked. But Mr. Marx's morals, or should I say, lack of morals, cannot be ignored. He has been officially observed alone on numerous occasions. He has twice refused to attend High Holy Synthosex services, and that is by no means the complete extent of his immorality. Mr. Bernard Marx has engaged with only 3 females in the last year. Therefore, I have decided to request his immediate transfer to the free island of Iceland. And I'm sure, after what you've heard here of Mr. Marx's record, each of you approves of my decision. Marx there?
Yes, but there's also...
Doesn't matter, whatever it is can wait. Send him in. Well, Mr. Marx, I suppose you know why you've been summoned here today?
Yes.
I've decided to make an example of you, so that it will be clear that deviance and immorality will not be tolerated. That is why, as you see, I have called the staff together, so that they may derive the proper moral lesson from witnessing your disgrace and your dismissal.
Good.
Good?
Yes, good. I'm glad they're all here.
Mr. Marx, you seem to be taking this very lightly. But perhaps once you've been transferred to the island of Iceland, you'll begin to realize...
Just one moment.
Do you realize that you're interrupting me?
Yes, I realize that. But there's something of particular interest that I would like to bring to your attention.
I'm not interested in anything you have to show me, Marx.
I think you'll be interested in this, Director.
Where is he? Where's my ptarmigan? Oh, that's him. Of course it is. Did you really think I wouldn't recognize him, my very own ptarmigan?
Stop it. What are you doing? Get away from me.
Don't you remember me, ptarmigan? Don't you remember your little Lindakin?
Get this awful creature away from me. I have no idea who she is. I've never seen her before in my life.
Oh, yes, you have. You took her to the Savage Reservation with you.
It's me. Your Lindakin.
You can't be. You're dead. The female I took with me, she died. It's a lie. Marx, he's the one. He's behind this.
I didn't die, ptarmigan. The savages found me and took me to their village. And I couldn't leave because of our John.
John? John, what are you talking about?
Father.
Oh, the shame of it. The shame of it. My whole reputation gone. After years of dedicated work. Not a single moral blemish on my computer file. I never allowed myself to engage the same female 3 times in 1 month. I faithfully attended orgy services each and every week. It just isn't fair.
Yes, I see your point. But unfortunately, your past good record cannot undo the scandal.
Well, it's his fault. He planned it all.
Surely not all of it. Bernard wasn't even in his embryo bag when you went to the Savage Reservation with Linda Lysenko.
It wasn't my fault.
Perhaps not, but it did happen.
I know. I know. Everyone's snickering at me and pointing at me. I just can't face anyone again. I just don't know what to do.
Well, it's just a thought, but maybe if you went away somewhere far away.
Yes, someplace where they won't know about me.
I see. You want to transfer.
Yes. Yes, to transfer to some place where they won't know about this awful scandal, where I won't be the object of ridicule.
I've heard there is an opening with the hatchery substation on Iceland.
Iceland, yes, that sounds remote enough. Would you see that his transfer to Iceland is put through immediately?
This way.
That awful Linda creature, she isn't out there, is she?
No, she didn't come. Just your son.
Oh, no. 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 No.
Perhaps you better take him the other way.
What a shame.
Yes, I could tell how deeply you were affected by his predicament, Mr. Marks.
Well, I mean, it is sad. A man who's given so much to so many out like that.
Oh, then you've modified your opinions of our society, I take it.
You know, your Fordship, I don't know who's been telling you things like that about me.
That's of no consequence now. You seem to have been making quite a splash with your Savage.
Oh, it's amazing. People are clamoring. I've received telecalls from some of the most respected people. Everyone wants to know what he's really like.
Yes, I'm sure. But for the moment, I'm much more concerned with what he thinks of us. I'm going to leave you in charge of him. But of course, I will require complete reports on everything he does. You understand?
Yes, of course, your Fordship.
So this is the Savage. Well, come in.
I'm summoned forth.
But you'll get to come and see me, won't you?
Is that allowed?
Oh, yes, that's allowed here. In fact, required. But come along now. You'll have time for that later.
Fare thee well at once. Bernard?
What's going to happen to him?
As a matter of fact, I've just been given full responsibility over him by his Fordship personally. I've been instructed to show him everything and to report back directly.
Oh. Well, that won't leave much time for engaging, will it?
I'm afraid I'm going to be rather busy.
I meant John.
Perhaps I can work something out for you.
Well, and what shall we call you?
My name is John.
But your last name, I mean. Why not Savage? Mr. John Savage, how does that strike you for a name?
It boots not. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
A rose. Oh, yes, of course.
You do not have roses here, do you?
Oh, I'm sure we do. In one of our nature nausea classes or museums.
But don't people wish to see flowers growing?
They did once. But we found that flowers are counterproductive. The time that could have been spent producing or consuming was wasted idly looking at flowers.
I'm afraid I do not understand.
Well, of course you don't. Yet. But you will. That is, if you stay with us.
You're not going to send me back.
No. No. Well, only if you wish. You see, Mr. Savage, here in our world, you may do anything you wish, be anything you wish, have anything you wish. Yes, and have anyone you wish.
Linda? Linda?
No, Mr. Savage, you mustn't disturb her. She's having her joy hour.
How do I know she's all right?
You can see for yourself. Just look at her.
If she is happy, then beasts that reason not and lack all discourse are happy. Linda? Linda?
Go away.
But it's John, your son.
Go away. Soma! Soma! Soma!
Now see what you've done? You've completely thrown her off her Soma schedule.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
That is all, Nanny Nurse. I'm Phillips Park Ludens, the chief dispenser. What is it, Mr. Savage?
Linda, I want to have her with me.
Quite out of the question.
But she belongs with me. She's my mother.
I will not tolerate that sort of dirty language in my dispensary, Mr. Savage. And if you plan to say any more filthy things like that, I'll simply have to ask you to leave immediately. This way, please.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. But I do want to have her with me.
I don't think you understand, Mr. Savage. Here we have her on a strict Soma schedule. 2 happiness hours and 1 full joy hour a day. Without proper dispensary supervision, she would immediately Soma coma.
And if she didn't get any Soma?
Then she would, of course, scream incessantly. Is that what you want?
Oh, no. But this Soma, aren't you actually shortening her life by giving her so much?
In one sense, yes. But in another, we're actually lengthening it. A megasoma coma is a bit of what the ancients used to call eternity.
Eternity? Eternity was in our lips and eyes. You mean that?
Not exactly. In any case, Mr. Savage, you can be sure we'll do everything possible for her here. Although, of course, nothing can save her.
You don't mean she's dying now?
No, not now. But of course, sooner or later, the megasomadosis will lead to paralysis of the respiratory sector. Her breathing will then cease, and she will die of terminal bliss.
I want to be with her. How soon will it happen?
It's difficult to say, especially in her case. The first sign is usually a brief reality relapse. Of course, you wouldn't want to see her then.
But I would.
Very well, Mr. Savage. I'll see that you're contacted.
To His Fordship, Mustafa Mond, Western World Controller, from Bernard Marx. Subject, John Savage. I first took the Savage to the great cathedral of our Ford. He was obviously inspired by the deep synthetic reverence of the worshippers, and I believe I was able to explain to him the rudiments of surrogate spirituality and placidic belief. John's tour of a senior kindergarten conditioning school was, under my close guidance, a complete success. Naturally, I couldn't explain all the educational intricacies such as advanced play math to him, but I believe that with my further help, he may well be able to grasp some of the simpler things such as nature, nausea, reinforcement conditioning.
None, why?
While the Savage was obviously charmed by the primary erotic play class, it did seem to raise a question in his mind. He asked again where, without mothers, where the children came from.
Now, Mr. Savage, I think you'll find this very interesting. After the embryos are bagged, they come along here for initial model selection. At the moment, we're turning out redesigned deltas.
Oh, Juliet, move not. And on thy sweet lips would my soul be purged.
Mr. Savage, come along. I want to show you our all-new and fully improved Buckanovsky embryomatic separator. One epsilon unit goes in, and out comes 60 reproductions, absolutely identical to the original in every production detail. Come along.
Did you sprinkle on additives or mix them in? I'm sorry. Please, no more questions. We must keep on schedule.
Are you engaging anyone tonight?
Perhaps I'll give you a telecall. Thank you. John, hurry. We'll be late for the Ford State Synthesis service.
What are they doing?
These are the Delta workers receiving the daily ration of Soma.
Like Linda.
Yes, not as much, but the same thing.
Why?
Why?
You said they were happy.
Well, of course they're happy. Everyone's happy.
Then why do they take the Soma?
Because it's prescribed. 3 after work and 6 on the Ford State.
Why, Bernard?
John, really, you must stop using that word.
Hold it! Over here, Mr. Savage. That's enough. We have to go on with our tour for Mr. Savage. No more pictures.
But we need a statement from him for the Daily Times. Say one of your funny things, Mr. Savage.
Go for a muse of fire that will ascend the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and nobles to behold the swelling scene.
It's wonderful. That's just perfect.
Should I go on?
Say something more, anything at all.
That's all. I'm sorry. We must go on with our tour. Now, you can all interview Mr. Savage later on. Right this way, Mr. Savage. I hope that none of that upset him. I mean, I do hope that you won't put anything unfavorable about our operation here in your report.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. You can count on me to leave out any minor matters as long as we understand each other.
Oh, we do. We do, Mr. Marks, I assure you. Careful, Mr. Savage, not too close. What is this? Those are heliofusion tubes. You see, we take helium energy from the sun. The sun, up there, hot, hot. Then we pipe it thousands and thousands of feet down there, underground, where it's turned into nuclear fusion energy. Bubble, bubble, fizz, fizz. Then back up comes fusion energy through those tubes. It's really quite simple. Approach, thou beacon to this underglobe. And thou, all shaking thunder, strike flat the thick rotundity of the world. Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. You will put that in your report, won't you? I mean that I explained everything to him.
What's wrong with them?
Oh, that's a batch of our especially substunted epsilon workers. As you can see, Mr. Savage, they were designed specifically for heliofusion work. Heat immersion pigment or growth-inhibiting hormones. You will note that their bodies were designed to fit perfectly into the coils of the tubes.
Bernard, may we go?
Oh, but we haven't seen the Delta Radiothrax workers yet. We haven't seen...
I must go. I feel a sickness of spirit. I'm sorry.
Oh, perhaps we'd better go.
But you won't put any of this in your report, will you?
We have to leave.
You're behind schedule. Take your elevator down for another batch.
Do you know you did extremely well the other day at electro-obstacle golf? I mean, for never having played the game before?
But it's not a game, Bernard. Everyone just sits at that machine and presses buttons, but no one runs or jumps or throws like in a game.
Oh, it used to be like that once, I think, with a round object that people used to hit this way and that with sticks. Naturally, not that many people could play at the same time. But as soon as they replaced these sticks and round things with machines, then, of course, more people could spend more time consuming more energy.
If no one plays, though, Bernard, why do you call it a game?
Because that's what it's called. Central Slumbratorium 2, priority.
Very good, sir. First level, pink beam.
What is this, Bernard?
This is the Slumberatorium Garden of the Departed Ones, and there's no need to whisper. Beautiful, aren't they?
Are they truly dead?
Oh, yes. Naturally, the departed ones aren't shipped here for formal cosmetic reconstitution until they've passed on. But I can assure you this is exactly the way each one looked in their real life.
What killed them?
Oh, nothing at all. By taking the correct chemicals, we all stay young till perhaps 80, 90. That's when the metabolic strain causes PPO. That's peaceful passing on. Where is that writer from Creative Cremation? It's all right. You pushed the disposal button.
Where did he go?
Down to the chemo recovery furnace. The bodies are brought here for cosmetic reconstitution before cremation and final chemo recovery. That way the chemicals that are salvaged from the body are returned to usefulness.
Let's go.
And the individual goes on being part of the greater society forever.
Good. Do you want to play the plop-plop game? Yeah! Well, have you all finished your yum-yum soma candy?
Yeah!
Since you've all been very, very good on our whole death training picnic, I guess it's time for your reward. Each one gets one plop-plop.
Yay!
But just one. Go on. All right, children, all together.
Death is perfect, death is fun, death is good for everyone.
Good, very good. Let's do it again and show Mr. Savage here how we sing our We're Not Afraid of Dying song.
When there's no one left, sing a song of death. 24 courses baking in a stew, making pretty chemicals just for me and you. Death is perfect.
No, you don't understand! Death is dark as night! In that country from whose bourne no traveler returns. And none need court death, for death will come to each. So let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings. Let us talk of graves.
Really, Mr. Savage,
of
you
worms.
have completely ruined my death training class. Now I'll have to start all over again with them. Come on, children. We'll go back to the Dying Inn Hospital and have a fun picnic. Come along. Come on. If you ask me, I think you'd better start educating your Savage, Mr. Marks. Come on.
I'm sorry, Bernard. I seem to have done something wrong.
John, this incident is strictly between you and me.
And the Savage then completely disrupted an advanced synthophilosophy course by asking strange questions of the students.
What sort of questions exactly?
Well, here, for instance, he asked them to explain to him why life was a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing, some sort of primitive gibberish, obviously.
Ah, yes. Macbeth. Yes, obviously, gibberish. How about females? How many has he engaged with so far?
None. I know it's incredible, but at least according to this report from Bernard Marks, that does seem to be the case. And despite several illustrated lectures on morality, he still seems to be attached to his...
His mother?
Yes, his mother. Decidedly unnatural.
For us, of course, but not for John Savage. Not yet.
Well, suppose he contaminates others with this sort of base animalistic attitude. Unnatural is unnatural.
Perhaps. But then that is precisely what the experiment is all about. To determine whether or not the Savage can adjust to our higher plane of morality. Of course, if that proves to be impossible, the experiment will have to be terminated.
Should I advise Bernard Marks of that?
No, I don't think so. After all, Mr. Marks is part of that experiment now, too.
I really think I've done wonders with this boy. course, you have no idea how difficult this sort of responsibility can be. Tours, interviews, lectures, and of course, our Fordship wants me to report personally about the Savage.
Well, I suppose I should be quite impressed with you these days, Bernard.
Well, enough about me. Tell me about yourself, Helmholtz. What have you been doing?
Just a small piece of my own I've been working on. Maybe you'd like me to show it
Oh,
to you.
I would love you to show it to me. The only problem is I don't have the time. I'm sorry. You do understand, don't you?
Yes, I think I do. You've changed, Bernard.
I'm not surprised that you noticed. Everyone has. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, Sigmunda Luce, that's the head of the Human Element Reconditioning Bureau, told me that everyone's been saying that I'm really a new, improved Bernard Marx.
What happened to the young man I used to be able to share inner concerns with and questions on the nature of free will? What happened to the young man who so often wondered what it would be like to live free of conditioning? What happened to that, Bernard Marx?
It was all computerless nonsense. I've outgrown all that. I really must hurry now if I'm going to make my engagement with Sigmunda. Helmholtz, just a word to the wise from a friend. The sort of things that you were talking about before, inner concerns, free will, I really think you should be more careful.
I will.
Tonight? You're going to engage with the Savage tonight? How thrilling. Bernard arranged it.
Oh, I really do envy you, Lenina. I mean, everybody's talking about you being interviewed by the Feely Tone News, being asked to lecture at the Young Women's Sportian Association, and being engaged by the president of the External and Internal Secretions Corporation. Oh,
Oh, it's so wonderful.
except... What? Well, one part of it bothers me a little. The trouble is, I feel like I'm getting all this attention under false pretenses. The first thing everyone wants to know is what's it like to engage the Savage. The trouble is, I just can't tell them. Because I don't know.
You don't know?
You mean you've never engaged with the Savage? Why not? I've given him every opportunity. There must just be something about me that he doesn't like. Although I can't imagine what it could be.
Well, I don't know either. I mean, you're very nomadic.
Well, maybe tonight will be different. We're going to see the new Feely, and then we're going to take a sense of pleasure tour. He's bound to be in the right mood after that.
Everyone says it's just wonderful. It's about this plasto food worker, that's Roger. And he eats something that accidentally deconditions him. And when he sees June, he only wants her. But because he's sick, he doesn't want anybody else to have her either. So he comes all alone at night and
Oh, there is my June, just like the moon, up there in the sky like a big plastic pie.
Who's there? Roger? Roger? Where are you, Roger?
Here I am. Oh, come fly away with me and be my little Valentine. We'll engage all day and engage all night and soar forever to the highest height.
What is it? What's wrong?
you have to put your hand on the feely nip, or else you won't get all the effects.
Oh, Junie June, I swear by yonder moony moon.
No, no. Oh, I hear someone coming. You must go, quick.
Saying goodbye is so much fun that I will keep it up till night is done.
No, no, it's wrong. Romeo and Juliet isn't like
And
that.
I am a beta.
What's in a name tag?
Would you sit down, please? Lenina, you shouldn't go to see things like that.
The feeling, you mean?
It was base and ignoble. It was unworthy of someone like you.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be like that. That it would be something that would upset you, I mean.
You didn't know? Well, then, that explains everything.
It does? Oh, then I'm glad.
Well, good night.
Good night. Aren't you... I mean, I thought that...
No.
Don't you like me? Don't you like the way I look? Why don't you just come in and...
No, I mustn't. Good night.
No, Henry.
But why?
I don't know.
What do you think?
It's fine, I'm sure.
Fine. Fine? This is going to be perfect. You don't know who I've got coming here. Look at this. Director of the Institute of Illustrated Mechanics, headmistress of Harvard, head of the Joint Chiefs of Computability, president of the Council of Decantation Control. This is just the beginning. You name them, I've got them. Oh, and Helmholtz, if you would like to come yourself, that's fine. You're more than welcome to. Excuse me for one moment. You realize that my guests are from the top echelon of society. I want the best.
High-tone stuff, you mean? Like after the feelie is over?
That's fine. What about How I Love That Dear Old Bottle of Mine? Can you play that?
Yes, it's programmed for that one, too.
That's what I'm talking about. We want things that are sedate.
Good old Mr. Marks. Strictly high-class stuff.
It's all such a responsibility, but I suppose it is worth it. After this party, I'm sure I'll be invited everywhere.
Is that what you want, Bernard?
Of course, don't you?
I suppose. Or at least I know I used to.
Well, I'll put a word in with the right people for you, Helmholtz. You know, since I've been in charge of John, I've met some very influential people.
Where is John?
Oh, John, he should be out here by now. I better go check on him. You're absolutely sure you won't stay for the party, Helmholtz?
I don't think I'd fit in with your guests.
I'm sure you know best. What are you doing? No, that won't do at all. What? What are you wearing? I told you I want you to change back into what you had on when you came from the reservation.
Bernard, I need to talk to you about some things.
John, my guests are arriving.
I need to talk to you about Lenina.
No, she would not do it all. Now listen, they're expecting to see the savage. Naturally, they want you to look like a savage. Change.
Mr. Marks, where's the savage?
He's getting ready. There's Elton Lear, that marvelous telecartoonist. If you'll pardon me for 1 minute.
Anita Shapley, Director of the Bureau of Standards and Practices of Socio-Sex Norms.
Bernard Marks? Yes, I thought so. From your record, of course.
My record?
Oh, yes, we keep all sex deviance records on file. Now, I think it would be best if I saw the savage alone. Naturally, I prefer to conduct my socio-sex examinations in privacy. So if you could just show me to him,
Oh,
then
I couldn't.
Couldn't. Perhaps you're forgetting about the file on your deviant perversions, Mr. Marks.
Mr. J. Edgar Milhouse, professor of shredology of the Advanced College of Histobunk Rectification Studies.
Professor Milhouse, I'm so
Who are
delighted
you?
that- I'm your host. I'm Bernard Marks.
Oh, well, where is he? Where is the savage? Well, I didn't come here to chit-chat. I want to see him now.
Yes, of course, Professor, of course. I'm just on my way to get him at this moment.
Her Reverence Archdeaconess Rona DeMille, Director of Orgy-Porgy Services and Disco Worship.
Your Reverence, I shall return in one moment. You have to come out, John. That's all there is to it. I promised every one of them that they could meet you, and every one of them is here.
You should have asked me first whether I wanted to meet them.
Look, you don't even have to say anything. Oh, maybe one or two of you little speeches the way that you do. Please come out, John. Please.
I will not be as flies to wanton boys. They kill us for their sport.
That's exactly the sort of thing that I'm talking about. That's exactly what I mean. If you could just come out and say something wonderful to them like that, they would adore you.
No.
John, how can you act like that? After all that I've done for you? Bringing you back here and everything else? John, this party is very important for me, and it should be important to you also. Everybody's here. Everyone who matters. They're all waiting to see you. John, you're acting like an absolute epsilon. I promise you, he is on his way. He'll be right here. He is coming. Excuse me. You haven't tasted the artificial soybean pie. It's delicious.
No, I haven't, and I do not intend to. I have never been so humiliated in my life. Imagine rearranging my entire schedule to come here and examine the savage, and all for nothing.
Oh, no, not all for nothing. He's a marvelous boy.
I've made a note of this, Marks. And as far as I'm concerned, you should have been sent away somewhere. And after this, maybe you will be.
Professor,
I think that I was actually going to invite him to a high holy disco mass. You can be certain that after this, he'll never be invited anywhere.
Would you all just please wait once?
Don't think you're going to get away with this, you little nothing. I'm going to see that everyone finds out about this little fiasco you've staged.
If you would all wait and be patient for one moment.
Obviously, Thomas was right about you. Now everyone will know what you're really like.
Benito, don't go. We can talk about all times we've always been friends.
Not now, Bernard. I mean, if I stay here with you, then they'd start laughing at me, too.
Oh, I don't care. Get out of here, all of you. All right, get out. Just get out. Get out of here. Stop playing and get out. Get out of here. What are you, deaf?
Bernard. Did you send them away?
No, they left. When they couldn't see you, they just left. It's a scandal. Everyone's going to be talking about it. Everyone's going to be laughing at me.
Once in Malpais on the reservation, more than anything, I wanted to be chosen to be one of the hunters. They didn't want me. They laughed at me.
Well, what did you do?
I hunted alone.
Well, it's not like that here, John. The most important thing is community, identity, stability. It's wrong to do something alone. Besides, what would I do?
Anything you wish to do.
I know you want to help, and I appreciate it, but you couldn't possibly understand what I'm going through. After all, you're nothing but an uncivilized savage.
Bernard, everything will be all right again.
I don't think so. I think it will be exactly the way it was before.
The way you were when I first met you. But that would be very good.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Bernard, there's nothing wrong with being unhappy. Perhaps I do not understand. Perhaps you should speak to a friend you can trust. You have a friend, don't you?
Of course I do. I have dozens of them. Dozens. Helmholtz. He's got time for me day, night. Come on.
Whoever it is, go away. I don't want to see anyone.
Helmholtz, it's me.
Please, there are people trying to engage instead of wandering about shouting in the middle of the night.
Oh, Bernard, John. Well, come in.
Really? Some people just have no sense of decency at all.
It was horrible. To have everyone leave me there? To be left? Alone? All alone. You can't imagine what that felt like.
But I can. That's exactly what happened. I found out I could imagine it. I was chosen to give the guest lecture at the School for Advanced Emotional Engineering. And I don't know what suddenly possessed me, but instead of using the prescribed rhymes as examples, I started reciting a work of my own.
A new jingle. Well, what's the harm in that?
No, it's different than that. Wait. Here. I'll read some of it for you. I flee from all committees. Stick but a broken drum. Midnight in the city. Flutes in a vacuum. Shut eyes, sleepy faces, every stopped machine.
Oh, stop it!
I know.
I know, it's full of ideas, dissident ideas. There's even a part later on about
the pleasures of solitude.
Well, don't read it. Ideas like that. But my Ford, suppose they got inside someone's head.
Yes, that's what the president of the Solidarity Council said when I had to appear before them. And of course they're right. I know they're right. It's just that I can't...
Well, you should have destroyed these. You should have computer shredded them. They're not jingles. I have no idea what they are.
Poetry.
Poetry.
Poetry? What kind of thing is this? Explain it to me.
Well, it's not like anything else. It's beautiful. Like this. What a piece of work is a man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties. In form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god.
That's worse than what Helmholtz read.
Beauty of the world. The paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust?
Just stop it! Stop it! Bernard!
Bernard is right. The words are uncivilized, vulgar. And yet the sound of them, the rhythms. Obviously, whoever wrote them was a first-rate propaganda technician. Some primitive jingle writer, I suppose. But the emotions, the ideas, grief, hate. Computer lessons vowing to angels and God. No, it's all too uncivilized and vulgar. If only there was some kind of believable madness and violence and passion that one could write about. But what? What could it be?
First of all, I hope that your Lordship understands that I've made every attempt to reform the Savage's thinking. As a matter of fact, the constant contact with the Savage has allowed me to rededicate myself to the ultimate principles of community, identity, stability, so that I can fulfill it.
Yes, I'm sure it has, Mr. Marks. I'm sure. But at the moment, I am much more interested in the social and emotional development of the Savage than I am in you.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm getting to that. I merely wanted to make sure that your Lordship understood that any maladjustment shown on the part of the Savage is not my fault.
Then whose fault is it, Mr. Marks?
Well, as a matter of fact, he's been spending a great deal of time with Helmholtz, Watson. They seem to be spending hours together talking of all sorts of aberrational things like grief, passion, love. Not that I let myself be in the least contaminated by what they're saying.
But of course you listened to it.
Well, yes, of course I have to. It's part of my duty, isn't it? On the other hand, if you feel that I shouldn't...
No, not at all. How else would you be able to report to me?
Yes, that's what I thought, and of course it's the only reason I did listen.
You say that the savage talks a great deal about passion, and in fact, love. Perhaps his maladjustment has to do with his relations with women.
It can't be. He doesn't have any. Relations with women, I mean. Not that I haven't tried my very best to explain that he should engage with as many women as possible, but apparently he's just too primitive to understand about morality. As a matter of fact, he actually seems to think it's wrong to want more than one female.
Then there is one particular female he has shown a more than ordinary interest in.
Yes, I've made due note of it. I can give you the name. Not that I've observed them myself, but I did hear the savage mention the name to Helmholtz. It's Lenina. Lenina Disney. Perhaps I could speak to her if you like, warn her of the consequences.
No, since she is apparently part of the experiment now, too.
Wrong. Cease all computer sex squirter operations. Wrong button. Wrong button.
What happened, Lenina? I don't know. I was supposed to be fertilizing a batch of gamma females, and I think I turned them all into epsilon males. There, you see, it's all right now. And besides, they can always use an extra batch of epsilons. But that's the third mistake I made today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, I do. You haven't engaged with a single man in over a week, and you refused to go to the orgy session last night at the YWFA.
I suppose everybody's talking about how bad and immoral I am, but I can't help myself. All I want is him, John. But he doesn't want me.
Oh, nonsense. I mean, every man wants you. Why wouldn't he?
Yes. Why shouldn't he?
Oh, Helmholtz. I'm very glad you could come. I need to talk to you.
I'm here for you, John. I just don't understand you. Sometimes I think you want me, and sometimes I think you don't. Don't you like me even a little?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, more than that. More than words can wield the matter.
Oh, I knew you really wanted to be with me. You do, don't you?
Nina, I want to be with you always, forever, for all eternity.
No, don't say things like that. First you say such nice things to me, and then you talk to me as if I were some awful bad woman.
Oh, no. You, so perfect and so peerless. Created of every creature's best.
But if I'm so perfect, then why haven't you asked for me?
Because I'm not worthy of you. In my village at Malpais, I would have brought you the skin of a mountain lion. But here I do not know what it is I should do to prove myself to you. Nanina, set me a task, anything. I'll make mountains level and the continent melt itself into the sea. Oh, mistress that I serve, who makes my labors pleasure, if only this. Let me fetch and carry for you.
But why? There are machines to do everything. Or at least epsilon semi-morons. Besides, you needn't do anything at all. Just take me. Oh, please, take me. Oh, please, make me quake. I'll set my dial so you can drive me wild. Oh, hug me. Hug me till you drug me. Give me a kiss that's full of bliss.
Oh, shame, where is thy blush? Strumpet whore! Get thee to a nunnery, go!
A what?
Assume a virtue if you have it not! Out of my sight, damned whore!
A gram is better than a dam. When your nerves go jingle jangle, a soam will make you spick and spangle.
Fit you nor the soiled horse go to it with a more riotous appetite. Oh, frailty, thy name is woman. Was this goodly book made to write whore upon it? Goats and monkeys! Goats and monkeys! What? Yes?
John Savage,
Yes, this is John Savage.
Linda Lysenko,
How serious?
approaching terminal bliss.
Before you're dying in hospital. I'll be there right away. I did love you. Once. Love is madness.
John?
It's telecom, it's all right.
Yes, sir.
Nanny nurse, what is this commotion about?
He insists on going into the intensive euphoria unit.
Are you the head nanny nurse?
Yes.
My name is John Savage. There's someone here. Linda Lysenko. I have to see her.
I'm sorry, but no visitors are allowed in the IEU ward without permission from the chief dispenser.
I received a call she was dying.
Of course. We naturally assumed that you would be glad to hear the news.
I'm not glad to hear it.
Well, we can't have that. After all, death is happy, death is good. I'll see that you get an amphetamine pill.
No, I don't want a pill. I just want to see my mother.
Mr. Savage, we don't allow that sort of dirty talk in here.
That is all, Nanny Nurse.
Yes, Chief Dispenser.
Now then, Mr. Savage, I assume that you're here about Linda Lysenko. Well, I can only tell you that she's doing extremely well. Her Megasoma infusions have had to be slightly increased, but she really seems quite cheery and happy, as of course is normal. Altogether, we're quite pleased with her condition.
You mean she's going to be all right?
She is all right, Mr. Savage.
But the telecall, they said she was dying.
Yes, any moment now, I should imagine. Tests indicate it will really be quite quick and simple. No need at all for a syntho-euthanasia treatment.
May I see her first?
I can't imagine why. But she's through there, in the final euphoria lounge. Don't disturb the others who are dying.
The others?
Of course. Death is social, and death is shared.
There. Yes, exquisite, isn't it? Of course, I can't do the sort of finished artistic work they do in post-termination with molded plastic applications, silicone injections, and pigment infusions. Still, I actually prefer the little, what shall I call it, lifelike quality that's always lacking in post-termination.
This isn't Linda Lysenko.
No. I was going to start next on her. And believe me, you absolutely will not know her when I'm through. No. But the results are so much better if I can start while they're still in a pre-terminal state. No! Well, if you don't care how she looks.
Linda.
Oh, John. Were you playing outside?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You have to study now. So, when we go back to the other place, you'll know everything. Mm-hmm. Say your alphabet now with me. A, B, C. Vitamin D. I forgot. What is it? I've forgotten.
A, B, C. Vitamin D. The fats in the liver. The carbs in the sea.
That's it.
E, F, G, H, and I. Fords in his flivver, and there's goodies in the sky. Linda.
John? Is that you? Don't go away again.
I won't.
Tell me again about what was it?
About the pretty lady dreaming.
Tell me that now, please.
But now sleep. Sleep and see what visions I have seen. What towers cloud-capped, and men that like angels fly. Thither shall we go, you and I, and sup perfection.
Now, children, everyone will get his turn, and the one who does the best will get an extra Soma cream treat.
Yay!
You don't mind if my class plays a little, do you?
Oh, no, not at all. That's part of the fun of my job.
Good. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Get set. Go!
What's wrong with her?
Leave her alone. You understand? Leave her alone. And get them out of here, you understand? Get them out of here!
Certainly not, Mr. Savage. You should know by now that this is a prescribed death training class. How dare you interfere with the children's death conditioning?
Get them out of here!
Come along, children. Come along. We'll go play somewhere else. Come along. We'll have a nice game of Hunt the Zipper, and then we'll go to the crematorium, and we'll have lots more fun.
Really?
No. It's John, Mother. It's John, your son.
John. Hold me. I feel so...
Help me. Please help me.
Yes. But there's nothing at all wrong. She's just dead. Attention in the intensive euphoria lounge. A new happy one has just passed on. They'll be right in to get her. Are you sure she wouldn't benefit from a little touch-up before...
form yourselves into lines for Soma distribution. Thank you. Please form yourselves into lines for Soma distribution. Thank you. Please form yourselves.
How many
into lines
goodly
for
creatures there are here. How beauteous mankind
Form
is.
yourselves into lines for Soma distribution. Thank you.
Oh, brave new world.
In line, everybody. That's it, everyone.
Listen
In
to me.
line.
This Soma is bad. It's poison. It hurts you.
Please don't do that,
take
Mr.
any.
Savage.
Soma makes you into slaves. It robs you of everything magical and special within you.
Mr. Savage, please don't do that.
You can never be free until you're free of Soma.
Everyone be calm. There is an ample supply of Soma, enough for everyone.
I'm not going to let you take any more. Now listen to me. Listen to me. Don't you want to feel alive? Don't you want to feel free? Don't you want to feel the blood coursing in your veins?
Mr. Savage, don't do that.
This is poison!
Mr. Savage. Mr. Savage, please. Mr. Savage. Mr. Savage, they need their Soma.
No, they don't.
Emergency. Heliofusion plant number 3. Send Solidarity forces immediately.
It's gone! All of it!
Savage, please.
Now you can live. Now you can be human beings. Now you can feel. Now you can be alive!
Parkwood Place, number 317. Occupant John Savage. Present location. Activity respond.
Mr. Savage.
That's what I'm finding out now.
Soma Distribution Center Heliothrax Energy Plant. Activity inciting riot.
Oh, my Ford, they're going to think that this is my fault. Where are you going?
To help John?
Soma! 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 Soma!
No! You're not gonna make Soma! You're gonna be free!
Soma! 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 Soma!
Where's John? There. He's out of control. He's totally out of control. Let's get out of here. No. Let's help him.
There, sir. Stop them. It's all right now. We'll take care of everything. Ready to spray them with Soma vapor. Cover them with anesthetic hypobeam. Bring up the Synthel Muzak speaker.
Ready to Synthocast. Voice of Reason tape?
No. I think the voice of good feeling. Anti-riot speech number 2. Medium strength.
Yes, sir.
My friends,
Move out.
please, please, what is the meaning of this? My dearest friends, why aren't you all being happy and good together? Happy and good, at peace, be calm, please, please. I do want you to be happy, be happy, be happy, be happy. Be happy. Be happy. Now goodbye, my dearest, dearest friends. May the good Ford keep you and watch over you. Now
Destroy Soma. Destroy Soma.
May the good Ford keep
Apparently, the
And
Soma
watch
vapor
over-
did not completely restore them to emotional stability.
Destroy Soma.
you. Be happy.
Destroy Soma. Destroy Soma. Farewell.
We don't need your Soma. We're free, right?
He's the one who caused it. The Savage.
Nevertheless, I'm afraid we'll have to take them all in. Will the 3 of you come along quietly, or must we anesthetize?
We'll come.
Thank you.
Well, me? Well, why me? I'm not involved in it. This is a mistake.
I'm sorry, Mr. Marks, but orders have been issued directly from the Western Controller's office by his Fordship Mustafa Mond. All three of you to be taken in immediately.
They're here.
Yes, they're waiting for you.
It's a shame. Especially the Savage. After all, he was anthropologically unique.
Why are they taking so long? What are they going to do? If I could just explain to someone, this isn't my fault. What are you doing?
I'm making some notes on a new jingle about feeling.
Feeling what?
I don't know, something, anything, just feeling.
Well, that's ridiculous, and it's certainly not going to be any help with the trouble we're in here.
I don't care about that.
Well, I do. What about me?
What rhymes with hurt? Quirt, dirt, a spurt, that's it, spurt. Not the deepest wounds could hurt, though from them life's blood did spurt.
You'll tell them for me, won't you, John?
What?
That this isn't my fault?
I'll tell them what you... Look at this, Bernard.
It's an antique. They call it a book.
No. It's Shakespeare.
Looks like a book to me. Your Fordship. I can explain everything. It was a mistake. We didn't mean it.
I did. I meant to do just what I did, and I'm not sorry.
Well, I want your Fordship to know that I'm sorry. I'm deeply, deeply sorry for everything that I've done wrong, whatever it is.
Yes, Mr. Marks. And what about you, Mr. Savage? Any apologies from you?
No.
Apparently, you don't like our civilization at all, do you?
No.
Then you find nothing in our way of life to your liking. Nothing at all?
The music. That sometimes is pleasant.
Oh, yes. If music be the food of love, enough of that.
You've read Shakespeare?
Oh, yes. And others. Music hath charms to soothe the savage beast. You see, Mr. Savage, my special conditioning has allowed for all this, even though it's prohibited to everyone else. For those of us who must ultimately guide others to do what is right, it is imperative to understand the lure of what is wrong. And of course, it is a lure, isn't it?
Yes. No. I hated every moment of it.
Well, unfortunately, whatever the motivations, your actions have caused problems, definite problems. But then there's a quite simple way of removing them.
What is that?
Why, removing both of you, of course.
No.
You will have to be removed to some other place so that the possibility of the contamination spreading will be removed with you.
You mean you're going to send us away to some free island like Iceland? I don't deserve a fate like that, your Fordship.
No, Mr. Marks. Nothing like that. You and Mr. Watson will be allowed to choose among any of the free islands to live on. Tahiti, Jamaica, Hawaii. And of course, you will be allowed absolute and complete freedom to do anything you want. Read anything you want. Even think anything you want.
That's wonderful. No, it's perfect. That's all I want, to be free to write anything I want. And not just jingles, but something more, something different. But not somewhere like Tahiti. No, that would be too easy, too pleasant, too much like the life here. Isn't there somewhere else that's harsher, colder, less perfect?
Oh, yes. There's a free island to meet every dissonant taste. Lapland, Greenland, Antarctica, the Falklands. Of course, we don't have many calls for those. And life on them can be a bit bleak and lonely.
Wonderful. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. Something cold and harsh and bleak. Then I know I'll be able to write something different. I'm ready to go. The sooner the better.
Well, fine. You can arrange everything with the Extended Vacation Bureau. Just tell my assistant, Mawina Krupps.
Thank you, your Fordship. Thank you. John. But we'll talk before I go.
May I read your poetry?
Yes. Thank you. Wonderful. Bernard, coming?
Have you gone insane? I can't go somewhere like Lapland or Antarctica.
I don't have to go someplace like that, do I, Your Fortship?
No, no, of course not, Mr. Marks. I think you'd much prefer somewhere like Tahiti.
Tahiti?
Yes. A pleasant climate, no work, charmingly pneumatic females.
Females?
Yes. As many or as few as you desire. But study the brochures, Mr. Marks. I'm sure you'll find the right thing just for you.
May I have one moment? John, I'm off to Tahiti. And, I just want to say that I wish you all the best.
Thank you. I hope you find what you want.
Tahiti. Charmingly pneumatic females. You do anything you want. Read anything you want. Think anything you want.
What about me?
Yes, what about you, Mr. Savage? You pose a much more difficult problem. Unfortunately, your dissidence is so ingrained, so much a part of you, that it might even be socially dangerous to send you to the free islands. And of course, it would be impossible now to send you back to the primitive reservation after your exposure to civilization. And on the other hand, you have made it quite clear that you can't be allowed to openly wander about as part of our society.
I don't want to be part of your society. I want to be alone. I think it best to find some isolated place where I can be completely and totally by myself.
Yes, that may just be the answer.
Thank you.
And for your sake, I hope it is. Yes, we'll try it for a while, Mr. Savage. I'll make all the arrangements for you.
No visitors today. You'll have to leave with the others. Move along.
But...
You'll have to leave with the others. Please, move along. Move along, please.
Good morning, Mr. Savage. I took advantage of my position to let myself in. I hope you don't mind.
No. If you'd like to join me, I think I have enough for two.
Enough of what, exactly?
Well, it's going to be a stew. Potatoes, carrots, onions, fresh fish heads.
No, thank you. I had some imitation scrambled cholesterol before I left. But you go right ahead. Interesting. You've grown your own food, built furniture, woven cloth for yourself. So now you're Robinson Crusoe, and this is your very own Walden.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was referring to some other books that you perhaps haven't read. But then I'm sure the same ideas could be found in Shakespeare. Someone cast on an island who builds a dwelling for himself to live in.
Be not afraid. The isle is full of noises, sounds, and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not.
Ah, yes. The native Caliban from your Mr. Shakespeare's The Tempest. And is that what you are now, Mr. Savage? Not afraid, at peace with yourself? And if so, why do you have this? To drive evil spirits out of your body, I suppose.
I don't believe in evil spirits anymore. I'm not even sure I believe in the good ones. I wish I could, but I can't.
So we've taken that away from you, too. I'm sorry. But then if you don't believe in evil spirits anymore, why do you whip yourself?
I still believe in my spirit and the desires within me which are evil.
But my dear Mr. Savage, with a violence passion surrogate treatment, you could achieve the same end, but without any of the unpleasantness and inconvenience. No need for hair shirts and whips. Just the proper button to push and in complete comfort.
I don't want comfort.
Then what do you want? Unpleasantness? Suffering? Pain?
Yes, I want all of that. And all of the things you've done away with. I want danger, I want poetry, I want goodness, I want sin, I want freedom.
Put more directly, what you are really saying is that you claim the right to be unhappy.
All right, then. I claim the right to be unhappy.
But that also means the right to be sick, to be crippled, to be insane, the right to grow old and ugly and wrinkled, the right to protect yourself from violence, the right to kill or be killed, the right to have too little to eat.
And the right to hope, to love.
Yes, even the right to fall in love, and then be spurned, betrayed, left racked with pain and jealousy. Is all of that really what you want, Mr. Savage?
That's exactly what I want. I claim all of it.
You're welcome.
Right. Now there's the angle I want, right through there. Now remember, I want the Feely camera following him at all times. Now, DB? No. Wait till the Savage comes outside. I'll tell you when.
I'm sorry, visitors aren't allowed here any longer. Who's in charge here?
I am, officer. The name is Darwin Bonaparte, and I happen to be a Feely film director. And this is a Darwin Bonaparte Feely film conceived, produced, and of course, auteured by Darwin Bonaparte.
Who gave you permission to do this?
The Western World Controller, His Lordship Mustafa Mon.
Oh, that's different.
I'm afraid you're in the way there. If you don't mind, I don't like distractions when I'm creating. There he is! Cameras? Ready when you are, DB.
You see how I've caught the artistic essence of the Savage, Your Lordship? A lone outcast surrounded by the uncivilized forces of nature.
Yes, I do see. It's quite beautiful. Alluring, in fact.
But I assume you wouldn't want it to be too,
Too persuasive.
Right. Exactly what I thought, too. Of course, this is just a rough cut. Naturally, I plan to get rid of all the alluring parts. You'll see, once it's edited, speeding up, slowing down, changing words. The Savage will be a charming comic figure.
Charming. I thought you meant to say something else.
Pathetic. Primitive? Ridiculous, yes. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Yes. When I finish, the Savage will be completely ridiculous.
The Since You Feely Corporation presents a new Feely film by Darwin Bonaparte. A farcical comedy produced, conceived, and auteured by Darwin Bonaparte. Simple Simon Savage.
I think we're going to need some more guards. They're all bottled on their holiday ration of amphetamine.
If the Savage doesn't come out soon, it could turn into a riot.
You'd better send for soma gas. We may need it.
Yes, sir.
No, please.
Please, no.
Please, no.
understand. I know what you meant. I felt it. Thine own love my heart proclaims. Do you understand, John?
Oh, look at it. Look, come on. Come on, touch it. Oh, yeah.
What is that? I want to feel like that.
Bring up the soma gas.
Whoever you're looking for, sir, we must already have them.
I must find her.
Perhaps so. She's over at the collection station.
No, she's here. She's waiting for me. Breathe. I prithee breathe, Lenina. Then no more shall I. Eyes, look your last. Hearts, take your last embrace. And lips, oh, you the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Here's to my love.
Any termination casualty, Sergeant?
No, sir. But there was one case of a complete derangement. A beta, female, Lenina Disney. And when we revived her, she began talking very strangely.
We couldn't make out all the words, except for some very vulgar ones.
Yes?
Love. Marriage.
And some even filthier than that. She kept pleading to be left here. Of course, we resomatized her immediately.
See that she's taken to the nearest moral reconditioning center. Obviously a case of acute sexomania. But a few days of synthotherapy and she'll be quite normal and happy again.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Savage? Mr. Savage?
Is it finished?
Yes, all records of the experiment have been computer shredded and completely electro-erased.
Of course, he posed great problems. People wondering how he could do without Soma. Why he lived alone. How, why, But still I wonder. Was there another way, Mawina?
For the Savage? What?
I don't know.
Well, you tried to civilize him. To teach him.
Yes, like Caliban. The plague take you Prospero for teaching me.
Caliban?
A different Savage that a magician, an ancient kind of controller named Prospero tried to civilize. Just a story.
I don't understand.
No, but John did.
Will there be anything more, Your Lordship?
No, nothing more at all. The cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep.